What's up guys, it's Tom here, and Liverpool were the absolute worst performance of the season, probably the worst defensive performance I have seen by Liverpool in many years, because Liverpool never ever conceded 3 goals in the first half in the Premier League's history after scoring first, and Liverpool basically made all kinds of horrendous, shocking defensive mistakes, defensive errors. The whole back four went through a catalogue of errors and dumb decisions. Is this down to fatigue? Is this down to complacency that Liverpool think the title race is pretty much over? And it's almost over, but Liverpool still need to get over the line. And this game, the first half was absolutely shocking. Liverpool looked so bad, especially in defense, but also out of possession. Liverpool got pulled apart by a very organized, well-drilled Fulham side who deserve a lot of credit, but Fulham didn't do a lot of special things. It was Liverpool gifting them possession time and time again in and around the Liverpool penalty area. And by the way, Liverpool scored their first chance through Alexis McAllister, who jumps on a loose ball, drives forward and unleashes an absolute rocket into the top corner after running through the Fulham half, and from like 25-30 yards. It was a belter of goal. McAllister does love a spectacular goal against Fulham. And at that point, maybe the Liverpool players relaxed a little bit too much. But the first Liverpool goal that Fulham scored, the goal that Liverpool conceded, the first goal that Fulham scored, you could see the gaping holes in the midfield. McAllister was pulled away, Gravenberch was on the other side of the pitch, and the Fulham player could just drive forward without anybody closing him down. And then still, it's a decent cross, but Konate should have the ball clear. By the way, Konate already made a horrendous error, which Liverpool got very lucky that we didn't concede from, because Konate dillies-dallies on the ball too much. And he just absolutely gives possession to Fulham inside 6 yards away from the Liverpool goal. And Kelleher comes out to close the angle down. And after that, Liverpool clears somehow. But yeah, that was already alarm bells should have been ringing in the Liverpool players' heads that we need to wake up and we need to play with more intensity. But I had the feeling that Liverpool were just a little bit tired and exhausted after playing a very highly emotional Merseyside derby. But absolutely no excuses. Liverpool are in bad form. We lost 3 of our last 4 games and we only played well. Probably at home against PSG we played okay, and the Merseyside derby we played pretty well. We played brilliantly in the last 15 minutes of the Fulham-Liverpool game, but apart from that, Liverpool were just so bad. So Curtis Jones from a deep cross, instead of Konate heading the ball away, the ball falls to Curtis Jones and he couldn't react in time, and the ball hits Curtis Jones's knee, bounces back to Ryan Sessegnon across the Liverpool goal, and Van Dijk thought Jones would clear it, so he wasn't properly marking Sessegnon and he smashes it home into the near post. By the way, Fulham scored 3 goals from a total of 0.75 xG, and that is worrying for Kelleher. Alisson still not back because of the concussion protocol that apparently you need to be cleared for 21 days. You need to rest after suffering a head injury. That's the Premier League concussion protocol. That's 3 full weeks. That seems a little bit excessive to me, but if Alisson is back fit for the West Ham game, then hopefully Liverpool will win that one. I think, the second Fulham goal was the worst one. Robertson, he's one of the most experienced players in the Liverpool squad, and he does absolutely the dumbest pass. Instead of passing it upfield, he passes it across Liverpool's own goal, straight to the Fulham player. But then he compounds it by going in the middle between Konate and Van Dijk. He heads a loose ball back to Fulham for the second time, and then for the third mistake in a row by Robertson in a space of 6 or 7 seconds, Robertson deflects Iwobi's shot which was straight down the middle. Kelleher would have made an easy save. Robertson deflects that easy shot into his own net. Absolute clown show by Robertson, and it's so bad that Robertson just last week was talking about he's back in form and he will challenge the left back that is coming in next season. Absolute nonsense. Robertson is finished, he's washed, and these lapses of concentration will cost Liverpool dearly next season. So I really hope that we sign Kerkez, and I wouldn't be against selling Robertson and Tsimikas after the season that Robertson had, I will be honest. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm a little bit angry after the Fulham-Liverpool game. The third Fulham goal that we conceded, it's also bad. Maybe not as bad as the second Fulham goal, but Van Dijk should just jump up and head the ball clear. Instead, he gets pushed from behind by Muniz, but it's just a little push, not a big shove, and it's just enough to throw Van Dijk off balance. It's actually pretty clever by Muniz, the Fulham striker. And Van Dijk should have cleared the ball with his head. Instead, he tries to clear it with his leg, but Muniz flicks the ball ahead of Van Dijk, backwards towards Liverpool's goal, and then Muniz races clear before Van Dijk realizes what is happening. Muniz nutmegs Kelleher and scores. An absolute clown show, as I said. Curtis Jones made a huge mistake made a big mistake before the first Fulham goal. Konate made a couple of big mistakes. The first big mistake, the biggest one, Liverpool didn't concede from it. And then, Robertson and Van Dijk made big errors for the second and third Fulham goal. So Liverpool, in the space of like 15 minutes, conceded 3 absolute clown joke of goals. And that knocked, of course, Liverpool's confidence a lot. Liverpool just had 2 shots. We are a second half team. In the last 6 games, Liverpool scored that one goal that McAllister scored. And what's really frustrating is that we lost to Paris Saint-Germain, we lost to Newcastle, we lost to Fulham in these last 6 games, and we could only turn it around against Southampton, and we scored a goal against Everton. We won that, thankfully. But what I'm seeing is that because Arne Slot doesn't trust his bench enough, it doesn't rotate that much. Many Liverpool players are playing their most minutes in their career in a single season. That's not a great strategy when you have 31-year-old Andy Robertson, 33-year-old Van Dijk and Salah. They are having record career minutes in a season. Gravenberch is having a record career minutes. McAllister and Szoboszlai as well. And it is telling that maybe they are not that sharp. Liverpool won every single sprint battle against their opponents in 2024 in the Premier League. In 2025, we only won 3 of all of our games that we played. And that's worrying. I'm not sure it's the cause of this, that Liverpool are starting to lose many games, and that's really worrying. Liverpool absolutely have to win their next 2 games. We have West Ham at home and Leicester away, and we cannot let Arsenal back in to have any hope. And yes, Arne Slot is right that Liverpool played well in the second half, and Liverpool could have easily scored 3 or 4 goals in the second half alone, because Salah missed a big chance. Luis Diaz scored after a brilliant run by Conor Bradley, and the substitutions made Liverpool much better. Harvey Elliott was great coming on as a substitute. Chiesa was great. Luis Diaz was fantastic after coming on, and Conor Bradley as well. We really badly need Bradley. Fulham rightfully targeted Curtis Jones as the makeshift right back, and Fulham had a lot of joy on that side, but the main reason is that because of Liverpool's unforced errors, Fulham capitalized on those errors and scored 3 goals, and it was just too much to come back from. But still, Liverpool scored the 3-2 with 25 minutes to go. Great run by Conor Bradley through the middle. He slips in Luis Diaz, he toe pokes it past Leno. It was 3-2, game on, and then 10 minutes later, Harvey Elliott gets the ball at the back post. He curls it with his favourite left foot into the crossbar. It's so unlucky. It's a couple of inches lower, and it's 3-0, and Liverpool are attacking the last 10 to 12 minutes for winning the game. But Liverpool can afford to lose a game. What we need to make sure is this doesn't become a full-blown crisis, because if we lose to West Ham or draw against West Ham at home, then that will be very, very worrying. Thankfully, Arsenal have the both games against Real Madrid to concentrate on, and I think just Arne Slot needs to learn to rotate more and trust his bench more, because Harvey Elliott deserves more minutes, Chiesa deserves more minutes. The problem is that, Jota and Nunez are two strikers who are not scoring goals regularly, so it's very difficult for Arne Slot to do much change there. But I would actually give Chiesa a run out as a striker. Maybe against Leicester away or West Ham at home, that could be maybe work. Arne Slot also said this about Salah not scoring for 4 games. Maybe she should see it as a compliment that people are talking about it, because his numbers were not normal when he was scoring. The good thing about Mo Salah is he knows what kind of player he is. He will show up again, I don't worry about that. The problem was Liverpool's whole build-up play was so disjointed, so bad. We gave the ball back to Fulham so many times that Salah was just very isolated. When he got the ball on the right wing, there was nobody really to pass to. And you can't expect Salah to dribble past 3 or 4 players every time he gets the ball. And Arne Slot is very, very correct when saying that conceding 3 goals like we did today is not the standards of Liverpool. We created chance after chance after chance in the second half, and we lacked time to make up for the 3 mistakes we made in the first half. Liverpool started playing well in the last 15 minutes. I would have made those substitutions earlier, so I would have brought on Conor Bradley, Harvey Elliott quicker, and Luis Diaz quicker as well. Arne Slot said it's not often we concede 3 goals, let alone in 1 game or in 15 minutes. And we could have prevented it. That's what's the most annoying about this. All 3 goals were by Liverpool mistakes, not because Fulham played absolute brilliant build-up play. It was because we're just so error prone in defense. And the second half was the real Liverpool. The problem is that Liverpool are turning into a second half team in the last 6 games. As I said, we scored that 1 McAllister goal, and apart from that, Liverpool didn't score 1 goal in the first half of the last 6 games. And yes, Van Dijk is allowed to make a couple of mistakes, but what's worrying is that now Van Dijk made like 3 big errors in the last 2 games against Everton and against Fulham. Thankfully against Everton we didn't get punished, but this can't become a habit. And now that Liverpool are starting to falter a little bit towards the end of the season, it's even more worrying that nobody has signed a new contract yet. Not Salah, not Van Dijk, not Trent Alexander-Arnold. And Arne Slot hits the nail on the head. There is no reason for Liverpool to be complacent. We are not number 1 at the moment because we win every match by 3 or 4 goals. It takes us so much hard work to win these games, and everyone can see that. And this is a fluke game where Liverpool made 3 errors in the space of like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and like 4 errors, I think, with Konate's error, and 3 of them ended up being goals. Liverpool don't usually make this many errors in 1 game, never mind in 15-20 minutes. So it's absolutely shocking that Liverpool made this many errors. And we have to still give credit to these players. We only lost for the first time after 26 games unbeaten, and that's only 2 league defeats in 31 games. We were unbeaten until April away from home in the Premier League, which is a tremendous achievement. And I think Liverpool still need to do some work, but we must win the West Ham and Leicester games, and then the Liverpool-Tottenham game. We could effectively clinch the title if we win the next 3 games, because that will be 9 points. And then Liverpool would need to get just 1 more point in the remaining games. And it looks like we could win the title, hopefully against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge or at home against Arsenal, depending on Arsenal's results, of course, because if Arsenal drop more points, we could win the title earlier. But what Liverpool need to concentrate on is just get our concentration levels back, and Liverpool absolutely need to rotate more. Arne Slot needs to trust his team. The only rotation was from Wednesday's Everton Merseyside derbies. Gakpo started, and he had a pretty good first half. I need more rotation. I think we should rotate a little bit more. That's the problem, that You know, apart from maybe Harvey Elliott and Chiesa, nobody really deserves to be rotated into the team. Like Gakpo and Diaz are great, so they should be regularly rotated. But you can't argue for Darwin Núñez to start. You can't really make an argument for Endo starting or even Kwanzaa, and we don't have a lot of options. Tsimikas, you can't really argue for that. But yeah, we need the good news is Liverpool now have 1 game per week, so we should go into every game fully fresh and really re-energized. So the bottom line is Liverpool are still 11 points clear. We still need just 10 more points to win the Premier League title. It's a shame that we are not any closer to that because of our loss today. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.